The works that are in the exhibition of the Day of the Dead at the Oakland Museum celebrate the power of home and homegoing, wanting you to think about what it means to see an object and to take you on this Sankofa journey. You know, we see objects and they remind us of things, they make us feel. So with this exhibition, I wanted the viewer to look and see some element of the familiar. And sometimes even in a quick gaze, in a moment, you see something, you go, ah, I know that. You know, so it may be a color, it may be a wing, but I wanted to have a universal statement of home so when you see it, you can almost take a prayer, take a stop, take a moment just to reflect. And in that moment of stillness, hopefully you will find some element of you that completes a code that feels right for you. Hopefully when they look at the exhibition, they'll see some things that remind them of home and journey through images like wings. There's ostrich feathers, there's rooster wings, there's black used in different ways, there's handheld church fans in the show. And regardless of what your culture is, you know what it's like to hold something and for it to give you comfort. So hopefully when you look at those things, you'll be like, you know, that's not my, say, church fan, but we have those fans within my culture. I've seen those, and then that sparks a whole nother story, you know. So there's fans, and there's cotton, and there's other little things that have traveled through time waiting for you to respond to them. And then you create the story about how the presentation gives a narrative for yourself. The aspects of ritual and remembrance, it's very sacred. It's because when we do something, when we move something, and we do it more than once, it's a ritual. So the idea of the repetition is kind of like your heartbeat. The rhythm of your heartbeat comforts you is because you know it. So the idea of ritual and remembrance, it's like, I may not have seen it before, it feels familiar to me, it has a sense of remembrance. So in the whole ritual of even walking to a space and stopping and looking is a reflection of a ritual. So my desire is for when people engage and they imagine what the exhibition could be like is don't think too deeply about exactly what they're doing, just realize part of the ritual of coming, walking through a door, stopping, observing something, and feeling something is ritual enough. And the remembrance of it, even if you've never been there, you've been there now. So you remember that moment. So kind of hold that moment in your heart as a symbol for the idea of ritual and remembrance. Human beings all have ritual. We all have remembrance. You're breathing, you're walking, you're standing, you've done that before. Welcome to life. It's a ritual. One thing that makes the Oakland Museum so seductive is when you walk through the doors, it'll bring in all these elements of different time into one space. Because often we segregate things. Oh, this goes in this category, this goes in this category. But what the Oakland Museum has done is created a family reunion across many decades and many times, and now they're all together. So you can imagine what it's like to look at a portrait from a century ago, next to a portrait of today, next to technology where you can actually participate. So it's actually hands-on. So there's an environment here that engages touch, engages memory, and that ritual hopefully will make you kind of feel good, because whatever you imagine a museum to be, think about a museum as a place where a group of objects have come together to have a party. How you engage your body with the images, you know, because I'm sure some of the images make you look up, some make you look down, and feel free to, when you're engaging the exhibition, that you allow your body to be lowered and look at it from one level, look at it from different levels. Don't feel like you have to be standing and being formal when you're engaging the exhibition, because it is about movement and feeling and looking.